Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Lucid. We're hopping back into our game with the Late Age Olm. It's turn 44 in The Sound and the Fury. And if you recall, last episode ended, we were fighting in this very awkward war against Lemuria. And we had Erytheia posturing on our borders, and if we look this turn, it appears that they have attacked us. So first, we have a message from Lemuria. Dude, this isn't a contest. You don't need to outnumber my ghosts with wolves. Except maybe I do, because when we get into sieging, that will definitely be some of the math. Okay, so this guy's empowered himself in blood, but he seems to have been harm marked. Which actually, if we look at it, most of my guys who've empowered in blood have been harm marked. It seems they upped the percentage. When they first announced that empowering in blood would harm mark you potentially, it didn't seem to happen very often. I went and tested it. But now, it seems the odds are greater than 50%. Or I could just be really unlucky. Okay, we cast Sanguine Heritage, we cast Mind Hunt, and we hit Worm Feast, but he resists because Lemuria is lucky, and Mind Hunts always work on you, but they never work on other people. That's kind of how this game works. And you can see we're getting a ton of blood slaves. We got 16, about 40, 45, 100, 120 probably, 160, maybe more, 170. We're probably about 100 blood slaves this turn, maybe more. Let's check out some of these battles. So this is Erytheia attacking me. Erytheia, however you say that. And if we look, he's got one of these guys. I don't know what he's gonna do. One of these guys with a water bottle. Interesting. I guess worried about assassins? I don't have assassins though. Though I can do, soon, but not now, I'll be able to do Infernal Disease. I don't really have blood 4 or 5, whatever it requires to cast easily yet, but I'll have that later, and that will definitely be a tool in my arsenal. And there is Iron Blizzard. So as you remember, I anticipated this. I moved a bunch of these guys to patrol, and I have my PD. This is on top of one of my forts. And so we've just completely annihilated that Barbarian horde in the front. We've now killed his archers. And we are now going to... These are his cap-only sacred, so killing them is quite good. They're not terribly cheap either. I think they're like 25 gold, I want to say. But I could be wrong. We've got some Earth Meld going on down here, which is going to allow our PD to come in and smack them. And actually, doing Flaming Arrows, if you have it, is pretty good once you have these guys in your PD. They do, yeah. I'm not casting it here, but that will certainly be happening in the future. And yeah, we proceed to basically just whomp them in this attack, because we anticipated it. Even though they hadn't formally declared war on us, so we got kind of lucky there. Okay, so this is the console attacking me. Annoying little dude. And I've tried to catch this. So I've got this guy, he's gonna run to the front and hopefully be able to snipe these guys. So Soul Slay's going off as planned, but remember, we are not terribly lucky. We have a Paralyze, so that's not bad. He's paralyzed for 29 turns, so he's not going to be waking up anytime soon. And I've got Soul Slay and Paralyze. My wolves are up there. They can succumb to his Fear and Frost Aura, though. Soul Slay... No. This is kind of getting to be embarrassing. I've got a Fire Elemental, though, have no fear. Unfortunately, he does have fire resistance, so this is a little bit not gonna work. Because this guy does 15 fire damage. Unfortunately, these guys are kind of fatigued out at the moment. And they're casting very useful things like... Okay, we have some solar rays coming out. And then my guys are out, thanks to just Fear Aura. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. I did get I mean, I could have killed him with the Soul Slay, and he would have lost all his gear. But anyway, that's what happened. A bit annoying. So this is Utgard. Okay, he's taking back a province from Lemuria. We have a battle here with... we bumped into... Oh, he's using my... that's one of my items from Lucid's Thematic Gym Gin. And this is going to give him Blood Slaves. I actually need to make a few of those, because I'm going to start using a lot of blood magic, and I don't want to waste it. Or to waste Blood Slaves if I can help it. Lemuria is attacking me here. I can't remember what this group is. Okay, this is his Wraith Lord, who has been dying and respawning. He may be effective here, though. It's not usually good to surround him by wolves. These wolves are actually kind of causing me more problems than they're helping with. Okay, 31, we're not really getting him. Okay, we're getting him now. 15, 9. Okay, we got him. Tricky, he did rout some of my dudes. Okay, battle, that was this one, I think. Nope. Okay, he's raiding me here. I don't think I have anything, though. I'm not gonna keep that. Okay, there's a battle in Pythium, and this is going to be a very large battle. We've got all of Abysia, so let's pause real quick. If we look, he's got these crossbreeds, which they're called Hellspawn for Abysia, but they're basically really good crossbreeds. He's got a line of heavy infantry, some fire imps, which are really good if you don't have fire resistance, and you can buff them up. They really like strength buffs, because that will go directly to damage, even on ranged attacks. We got more Hellspawn. These guys do a ton of damage if they get into combat. They're kind of like a salamander. Then he's got Frost Fiends, which are pretty damn good. He's got an Archdevil here, 2 more Archdevils in the back, so he is kind of tapping out all the Archdevils. I'd like to steal them from him. I would need to cast it once this comes down, and I don't think I can cast it yet. I do have the Fire Random. My god can cast them, actually. He doesn't even need any items. And then we have Devils and Fiends of Darkness and Storm Demons. The way you get all these is by doing whatever are the 5 circles. And basically, I think it's... I can't remember. We'll check in a minute. But it's like 20-something Blood Slaves, and you get 1 of each. Pretty cool. And then he's got a good bit of Mage Artillery. So, on the other side, we have Pythium, who really is not equipped to fight Abysia traditionally, especially since he went for a Hydra Blast, but he's got a lot of mages who are going to communion up. He's got his Pretender God here, who's got a ton of gems and might drop some things of her own. And then he's got some arrow catchers up here, and then he's got some fire-resistant frontline people to kind of slow down the Abyssian frontline while not falling. These alligators are probably going to be what's targeted by most of the fire evocations. And then I think he's relying on this core to survive and do magic damage. So let's see how this goes. Let's zoom out here. So he cast Will of the Fates, or he cast, what, Arrow Shield? I thought I saw Will of the Fates. Did somebody cast it? I don't see it. Yeah, no Will of the Fates. Blood Bond. Blood Bond's kind of interesting. It's really meant for your sacred, like for the Hydras, but it's kind of interesting on communions. I guess it means communion masters can also share in damage, which is good and bad. Does everybody who's living have... No. I think he did personal regeneration, not mass regeneration, to just get it on communion slaves. And... yeah, there's... Abysia is kind of their front lines holding back here, and there's just a ton of stuff coming down, but if we look... let's take a look at the battlefield spells. We have Rigor Mortis up, the Ravenous Swarm, which I think will prioritize Undead, but will also kill Maybe it kills demons. I know it prioritizes undead. I don't think he has any undead back here, so I don't know who cast that. Heat from Hell, which is good for Abyssea, but not good for these guys. And then Pythium put Relief up. If you do Rigor Mortis and Relief, it gives you a big advantage because your mages will not perma-fatigue out in general, but enemy mages will. So that's a really good combination. And Abyssea is very, very close to being fatigued out. Okay, 75 encumbrance on these guys, or fatigue. Yeah, 50. So the front line of Pythium's kind of getting melted, but it looks like he survived long enough for the for Rigor Mortis and his fatigue play to set in. And I think now everybody should be almost totally fatigued out. No? Some of these guys are more fatigued than others. These Demon Knights don't seem to be terribly fatigued. The Spellcasters, though, are definitely totally fatigued out. The Archdevils, fatigued out. And now it's just really Skelly spam coming in. What would have been good is if he could have put Howl up also. That would have been really good. Howl's really good in conjunction with fatigue plays. It's still not super clear who's gonna win. It seems very difficult for Abyssea to win, because they have to like march across the field and fight all the mages. Which I don't know how they're gonna do that with Rigor Mortis up. And Abyssea usually doesn't have great nature access, so it's really hard for them to get relief up to really play against this. Most of the troops are fatigued out. We're gonna put it in fast forward. And it's really slow, but it's pretty clear Abyssea is going to lose now. Because there's more units coming to the fight. Abyssea is totally fatigued out now. 200 fatigue, 200 fatigue, 151 fatigue. Yeah. Alright, Pythium routes though, which is interesting. Because even though they've routed, a lot of their units are fatigued out. Okay, so it looks like... Okay, actually this is kind of weird. I'm doing this recording a few turns afterwards, and I remember the battle replay worked. And, like, I remember when I watched this battle, Pythium won, so I think I've actually kind of figured out now what must cause the replay issues. If you're watching it from a different version, then I think the replay gets all hosed up. So, yeah. Because in the real battle, like when I watched it live, the troops eventually wore down Abyssea's front, and then they came around back and killed him. But I guess with some of the changes in the last version, it was enough to alter the RNG of the battle, and then Pythium didn't win. Because we'll look at the report, and you will see indeed Pythium won. Pythium attacked Abyssea and won. So that's very interesting. I didn't know that was how it worked. And you can see he lost all of his salamanders. So, 12 out of 14 salamanders, 3 of his archdevils. His hell spawns, he lost his Lich Queen, which isn't a big deal. And then, I mean, just lost everything. Now, it was really expensive for Pythium. He lost all his chaff, but he didn't lose that many mages. He lost some of the Therogs, and some of these guys, but not nearly, in terms of the mages, he lost very, very little. So, this is kind of, you couldn't do much better as Pythium fighting Abyssea. He could have put Rain up and some other things that would have really crippled Abyssea that didn't come out. I mean, there were some things he could have done that he didn't. However, this is pretty damn good, you know, considering everything. Lemuria attacks me with trolls and they die. I'm attacking Lemuria here. There's nothing here. We're attacking Utgard, we take some PD. I think that was this one. Okay, we'll watch this real quick. Lemuria attacked me with some mercenaries. These are flyers. And I had moved these into position. They might get my back mage, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so that gets crushed. What was that? Was that this one? Yeah. Then, okay, this is another battle. We get attacked. Now this one I was also expecting. There's a big army here. I didn't put much here. I just put a couple vampires plus this guy to make them ethereal. And do cheat fate, so they should have twist fate on top of them, which will help them a tiny bit. Then this guy retreats, and then these guys are going to jump in. Okay, jump in anytime now. If you can hear that, my phone's going off. Okay, that didn't seem to work, unfortunately. Yeah, so our vampires got killed in one ran. Lemuria attacks me here, we kill one of his consuls. I believe this was with the Ghoul Guardians, so I'll show you that, because we haven't really gotten to see the Ghoul Guardians do real work, and this is really what they're made for. They've got magic weapons, so... and they kill sacreds, so dealing with consuls is somewhat of a specialty. Now let's see how this guy's equipped, because we do kill him. Okay, he's got a flesh eater, and that's it. Okay, and it's Utgard. So that's basically it. For magical events, we got some gems, misfortune and magic, and then that's basically it. So let's take a look at the map. That was a lot of time, almost 17 minutes just going through turn events. That's kind of more time than I want to spend. So I think starting after this, because this is really picking up tempo, I'm gonna skim through the reports, and then I'm only gonna show you kind of cool big battles rather than kind of do the surprise and click on it first. Just because it's going to take me too long to get through the rest of the series if we do it that way. Okay, so I'm fighting this awkward war with Lemuria where I'm trying now to get this from Utgard. I basically told Utgard that, hey man, I want to help you, but if you look at this, this is all Utgard's homeland. This is his cap. Or wait, where's his cap? Here's his cap. And Lemuria is like all up in his cap circle, taking forts, like this was one of his forts. It just isn't looking good. I've got big armies, I don't really have my supply items yet. So, he's basically out of the game. And so I'm like, hey dude, like I wanna help you, and I'll still fight Lemuria, but I'm just gonna take this stuff. Cause there's nothing I'm gonna do right now which is gonna keep Utgard alive. Ideally, I want Utgard to stay alive because I don't want Lemuria to get it, but I can't, with what I have, and especially with getting attacked by Erytheia, I can't save him. So anyway, we're gonna shift. I'm gonna take both of these forts now if I can, and this fort, and then ideally some of this stuff too. But that's the plan. I'm also going to try to Diplo with Lemuria and secure peace now that Erytheia has attacked me. Now normally Lemuria isn't very peaceful, and if he weren't fighting Utgard, he would definitely not peace me. He would want to raid me and things like that, because this war with him isn't costing him too much. He's lost a tiny bit of gear from Sacreds, but he's probably gotten more from raiding. So he would not normally do it, but I know I've played Lemuria enough to know exactly what's going through his head. He wants about a year to finish conquering Utgard and pop down temples in all of these provinces, temples and forts. And he knows that once he gets all of this templed and forted, he will be in an extremely strong position to kill everybody else on the map. So while he would like to keep raiding me, he would not like to have this army right here, for example. He would rather have this army down here and be taking these forts. So yeah. I think he will strike a peace deal with me, and then that will allow me to kill Erytheia. Yeah. Meanwhile, my blood economy, I want it to go still faster. And so I'm going to be doing a few things. One thing, I need to get this army off the board. This is an easy army to kill. It doesn't have much mage support. And it's just a bunch of troops without magic weapons. So I'm thinking, let's catch them with all my vampires. And what we're gonna do, I don't have Horde of Skeletons researched yet. I'll be getting that this turn, which is enchantment 5, I'm at enchantment 4. So this is my makeshift. If I do cast, I'm hoping that the spellcasting AI will do Horde of Skeletons. But we're gonna do Skeletal Body, hopefully Horde of Skeletons, Reinvigoration. I don't know if I did put Conservative Gem usage, good. So it won't waste that one Blood Slave on like Imps or something. And then, meanwhile, these guys are going to be doing Body Ethereal and Anti-Magic. And actually, I should have put him on like casting it one more time. I'm not sure I'm gonna Body Ethereal everybody. It should have been like one more Body Ethereal, at least. Yeah, because I've got 3 squares of vampires. But because I'm doing in defense, and these guys there's a good chance they die, I'm gonna be putting all of my Sanguine Dowsing Rods on my commanders, and I'm gonna be taking away most of the chaff. The wolf chaff is not gonna help me here. It's going to potentially just cause a rout and keep my vampires from doing what they need to. So we're gonna be moving all the chaff out. Here, I hit Y to see all the troops coming into this province. You see we've gotten rid of most all the chaff, except for a few wolves to soak up maybe some initial volley. And then we're gonna be relying on my vampires. Now I don't know whether he's going to attack here or here. It's hard to predict. This is a higher income province though, it's like twice as good, so I'd rather hold, if it's just a 50-50 guess, I'd kind of rather hold on to it. And I don't know how he's playing, I don't know how this player plays. But if he's being aggressive, he probably wants to take a fort, and he might even want to try to take this one. Well, this is... Or actually, he probably wouldn't. This has a ton of defense. It would take forever. So, I don't know. Maybe he goes here. Anyway, it's basically a guess. I'm going to guess here. If I guess wrong, then we'll see what happens. I'm also going to send a Vampire Raider in and try to take this. Could work. This would probably work against up to like 10 PD. 10 PD would be close. Higher than that, it will probably lose. And yeah, that's basically it. Here, we see there's a much bigger army on the border, right? A really big army. This is 270. The people I fought here in the Greenwoods, it was pretty small. It was 100, it was 160. So this is almost twice as big, which means relying on PD plus a bunch of Iron Blizzard casters is probably not gonna work. So I'm not gonna have these guys stick their head out. I thought about this really hard. I thought about cranking PD and trying to defend and moving in vampires and like doing the full Monty. I think I would have lost, and if I don't really want that to happen. I want to keep these guys alive, and I want to kill this army. I want to get this army off the board and then stall this big one that I'm scared of. That's kind of my plan. Yeah. That's basically it. Anything else? Yeah, so we're attacking these, we're counter-raiding. I'm continuing down here. You can see I've got this guy. This is my Mind Hunter. He's got a Starshine Skullcap, a Crystal Coin, and an Eye of the Void. And he's Mind Hunting this guy again. Now there's a guy with the Bane Venom Charm here too, and then there's a Consul, so I'm fine killing either of them. I would rather kill the Consul, obviously. And I think, though we'll check, I think I'm making... yeah, we're making another Crystal Coin here. And this guy's got a helmet, so helmet plus boots allow you to make the Crystal Coin, and then I'm gonna take the helmet and the Crystal Coin, and I'm also making, I think, an Eye of the Void somewhere. Though maybe I'm not, maybe it's up here. Am I making an Eye of the Void? Okay, I think somewhere I'm making an Eye of the Void too, but I'll check. Oh, and look at me being bad. I didn't equip any of my research items. I just threw away like 50 research. But anyway, soon I will have 2 Mind Hunters who are going to be doing their job, zapping people. And that's basically it. I'm not moving this guy out of the province. I'm moving this guy. This guy's gonna sit and hide, and then if he does move in and attack me here, I will probably kill him, and then I'll be able to resume blood hunting with these Sanguine Dowsing Rods immediately. That's why he's not leaving. If this is a prolonged battle, I won't do that, obviously. So that's it. Wish me luck on the diplomacy with Lemuria, and then we will see how this war with Erytheia goes. I'm not really sure what he's researched or anything like that, but we'll find out. Thanks, everyone.